All right, all right, all right. What is up, everybody? What is up? So sorry for the delay getting started tonight. I'll explain once we officially turn on the camera. I'm actually still getting a couple of things ready to go here, so let me put on some music for everybody, and we'll get going here in just a minute. Hope you guys enjoy the sweet sounds of TooTallToby's Model Monday Live. We got about 2 minutes and 10 seconds left, and we're going to get going with Model Monday Live. Man, it's good to be back, I gotta say. So excited to see everybody here in the chat again. And those of you who know me well will appreciate that. Still getting my overlays set up here. About 45 seconds here left to go. We'll give our shout outs to the chat here in just a moment. All right. What is up, everybody? What is up? What is up? What is up? So good to be back with everybody. I really appreciate your patience here, getting everything ready to go. Still getting everything ready to go. But I think I'm pretty close now to getting everything ready to go. Man, I got to start out tonight with just a little story. So let me just turn down this music a smidge. I'm gonna check my audio levels here, make sure that everyone can hear me, and I'll give some shout outs here to the chat as well. Let me see if I can turn it down to that magic level. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, that made a huge difference. I think you guys could probably hear me a lot better now. Find that magic level, man, everything just sounds great. Oh, I'm knocking stuff over. You can hear stuff falling on the floor. All right, first of all, what is up, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm so sorry I didn't get a chance to give the appropriate shout-outs, but what's up, Steve? What's up, Cam? What's up, Clark? What is up, Tom? Thank you all so much for tuning in. And as I go through this story, I will give some more shout outs. What is up, Ray? Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome from Kentucky. Glad to see you here. So tonight, it is, I'm here in Pennsylvania. It is very cold. It's about to snow. My neighbor just cut down a tree. He's got a bunch of wood. And I said, hey, man, I know this is a weird time, but this is the only window I have. Would it be all right if I come over real quick and just get a load full of wood? And ultimately, I got my van. I have an awesome van for hauling wood. I got it stuck in my neighbor's yard. The ground is more or less frozen. Hasn't rained here in probably a week or two, and yet I still managed to get my van stuck in my neighbor's yard. And so I was out there scrambling, what should have been maybe a 1-hour job turned into like a 3-hour job. Still stuck out there. Got a buddy of mine coming over with a pickup to try and pull me out. But that was my inaugural 2021 Model Monday live precursor. So if I seem like I'm a little scatterbrained and I, it took me a little bit longer than normal to get started, I do apologize, and don't worry, we're gonna get right into the groove of things here very quickly. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever been there, have gotten your car stuck in mud, have any advice you want to share with me on how to get it out. I think that the best thing I can do is just win by force and have a friend come over with a nice pickup truck and just yank me out there. But if you guys have any ideas of what I could do, let me know. What is up, Nuno? Thanks for tuning in. Great chatting with you a little bit this week. What's up, Clark? How you doing? And Sky Captain Nick is here. What's up? And Devin is here. What's up, Devin? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Welcome. And Mike Puckett, Certification Guru, is here. And Nick is here. Welcome, you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I love seeing everybody in the chat again. And Jennifer is here. Welcome. A new name here in the chat. So welcome and thanks so much for tuning in, Jennifer. I hope you enjoy it. You're obviously in for a special night here because things are not going as smoothly as they normally do. But don't worry, we're gonna get into the groove of things pretty quickly here. And let's see here. I just want to say hi to everyone. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. I think I got, what's up, 3167? Great to see you in here. Tampa Station, old school, longtime viewer. Thanks for tuning in. All right, and let's see here. Mike's putting some news in the chat about certifications, so that's awesome, Mike. Thanks a lot. I know there's a lot of people in the chat that are interested in learning more, and Josh is here as well. What's up, Josh? All right, I think I'm pretty much caught up here on the chat. CTSUG, Steve, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. All right, awesome. Says 73 here today and blue skies. That's awesome. And Tom says, I need a Jeep. Yes, that would probably definitely be good. Or I should have, if I would have waited one more year, the van that I have switched over to an all-wheel drive model. And man, if I would have known, I definitely would have waited. I had no idea that such a change would happen. All right, great. Well, welcome everyone, and thanks so much for tuning in. Welcome to Model Monday Live. This is a regularly scheduled live stream that we do where we share with the audience a series of challenges along with some great tips and tricks throughout the presentation. So we're going to get into it right away here with our first challenge of the night, our first challenge of the new year. And listen, everybody, I tried to make the challenges a little bit tougher this year. This first one, I think you're going to get through pretty quickly. But after this first one, the next two, because we are going to do 3 challenges tonight, they're going to be a little bit tougher than maybe what we ended up with last year. So I hope everybody's ready for it. I saw in the chat that Tom said he's going to do this one using X Design, using 3D Experience. So I think that's right in the spirit of what we're going to be talking about tonight with 3D Experience World. Now, we're not going to have any points on this one. I think this year I'm going to, for the tournament, because we're going to try and do a tournament again, I think I'm going to try and make it a little bit more Euro time zone friendly. So I don't know if that means I'm going to do Model Monday earlier in the night, or if maybe I'm going to switch over and do it maybe on Saturday. I don't know how we'll do that Model Monday Saturday. We'll figure something out. But we're going to try and involve a little bit more of an international crowd in the tournament this time around. So, as we figure that out, we'll have a couple exhibition matches, practice only. And so that means that tonight, if you want, you can go for it. You can win all 3. So Jennifer, good luck. I hope that you're able to win all 3 if you're playing along. If you do want to play along, all you need is a YouTube chat login, and you need a 3D CAD system that can input density and output mass. And that could be any 3D CAD system. I use SolidWorks. That's kind of my main go-to. I use a little bit of 3D Creator, X Design from 3D Experience. But if you want to use something else, that's fine. You can definitely use something else. And as long as you can take a 2D print and turn it into a 3D model, input density and output mass, you too can win. So with that, this is the quick rules that I always try to review with people is that this is meant to be fun and good-spirited. That's really the gist of what we do here on Model Monday Live and on TooTallToby. So this is really meant just to be a good time for everybody. And kind of in line with that spirit, I will and have made a mistake on some prints. There will be some prints where I maybe, just miss a dimension because, when I was modeling it, I assumed that dimension was there and then I miss it in the print, something like that. So that may happen from time to time. If it does, we'll work through it together. But as long as you're good with these quick rules, then you are in the right spot and you are going to enjoy the challenges tonight. So our challenges tonight are going to use one of two unit systems, IPS or MMGS, and they're going to use one of three materials. These are the same materials we used all last year. The only thing I'll call your attention to is that this is ABS, not ABS PC. So make sure you got the density correct there for your ABS material. And with that, we are, I think, ready to go here for this first challenge. So this first one is going to be called Cone. Of the three tonight, I think this is probably the easiest. Let me jump over to full screen here and good luck, everybody. Go. 3, 2, 1, go. I didn't even give you a countdown. Sorry. So as soon as you see the 2D print, the clock is on. The first person who can come up with the mass of this part and put that mass into the chat is considered the winner. So you can see here that this part is a plastic cone. This is a plastic part made of ABS with a density of 1020 kilograms per cubic meter. Looking for the answer in grams. All the dimensions are in MMGS. And it looks like this cone has 6 ribs going around kind of the upper ridge, and it's got 4 ribs going up through the inside of the model. Now, I'm calling them ribs. That doesn't mean you have to use the rib feature to create them. It just means that, that's what their functional purpose is. They're making the model a little stronger, or maybe they're providing a little bit of alignment guidance, whatever it is. So you don't have to use the rib feature. Maybe your CAD system doesn't even have a rib feature. That's fine. Going to leave this model up there full screen just for another few moments. If you're playing along with for the first time, this is your chance to grab a screen capture of this print. You can maybe put it on a second monitor so you can keep modeling, but we don't want to just leave this print up the whole time, right? We want to talk about the topic of the night, which tonight is 3D Experience World 2021 and what you can do to get the most out of it. So I'm going to switch back to my kind of camera in screen here. And we're going to talk all about 3D Experience World 2021 and what you can do to get the most out of it. Let me know, everybody, if the music sounds like it's at a good level, if the audio sounds like it's at a good level. I'm going to take a drink of my tasty beverage here. This is a kombucha. It is, I think it's a lemon ginger, and it is delicious. And it's going to probably give me a little boost of energy, which I'm going to need to push my van out of the mud or whatever it is I end up doing to get that situation resolved. So cheers, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great night. A happy Monday. Nuno says we should start doing Saturday sesh, trademark pending. I like that, Nuno. And we can see here that Cam is saying, good luck tonight, everyone. Just watching tonight, tuning in from a cabin in the woods. I don't know if you ever seen that movie, Cam, but it's a great movie, Cabin in the Woods. Highly recommend it. Definitely, I don't want no spoilers. Just good. I like it. I recommend it. Not safe for kids. Definitely more of an adult movie, but a great movie indeed. All right, and Nuno says we should start trademarking Saturday Sesh. Love it. All right, Nuno says audio sounds good. Music is not too distracting. Appreciate that, Nuno. Love the feedback. All right, cool. So let's get into it here. 3D Experience World. Tamboror Station says, may the force of SolidWorks grow within you all. Love it. So 3D Experience World 2021. So what are we talking about here? Well, like any world conference, whether it's SolidWorks World or recently renamed 3D Experience World, these are the things that I typically will go through that I will make sure that are in line before I go to the session. Once I have these things in line, I'm pretty good to go. I'm pretty confident everything is going to go smoothly with the rest of the session. So make sure that registration is good to go. Make sure that I've got everything, set up and in line with my registration. Then I kind of go through and try to figure out what my agenda is going to be. I make sure that I know when Model Mania is going to take place. I make sure that I know any information about Certification Day. We got the great Mike Puckett on the chat tonight. If you have any questions about certification or how you can get involved in Certification Day, feel free to ask him. He's right in the chat here. And then I also make sure that I am aware of the CSWE event. If there's any experts out there, you definitely want to be aware of the CSWE event. Again, Mike Puckett is on the call tonight, and he can probably help us to answer some of the questions about these different topics. So basically what we're dealing with here, what we're talking about here, is we're talking about the idea of a free conference that you can register for, 3D Experience World 2021. If I go to a new incognito tab here in the actual live internet, and I go 3D Experience World 2021, we can see here when we get to the main page here, it says it right on the main page: the freedom to create a free to attend virtual experience February 8th through the 11th, 2021. Register now and access your agenda. So when you go to register now, you're going to be presented with a page that looks like this. You're going to be asked to input your name. You're going to be asked to input your email, your country, and answer some other questions along the way. Now, if you haven't registered for this yet, just keep in mind that this is totally free, and it gives you a great opportunity to get some tips and tricks about the wonderful world of SolidWorks as well as the world of 3D Experience. You can see here that if you registered by yesterday, and the only reason I'm leaving this up here is because I just want to make sure that that everybody understands that this was an option, and so maybe you already did this, but unfortunately this option is no longer there. But if you registered by yesterday, you would have the opportunity to say, I'm interested in taking some exams, and you can take, I think, up to 2 exams for free by just doing the regular free registration, as long as you selected this option. And you're going to receive a notification if you chose this option. You put in your email when you registered, you're going to receive a notification of what the next steps are. Now, I just want to say, if you didn't get to do that, there's still some great opportunities out there to get what are called VIP passes. You can actually pay for a VIP pass, which I'll talk about in a minute. But there's also some other opportunities out there. If you just look around, some message boards will have those VIP passes, or some different streams will have those VIP passes. So you may still have the opportunity to get a hold of one of those VIP passes, which maybe will give you some similar access. On that same page down towards the bottom, you'll also notice there's a section that says Model Mania hosts different challenges to display your modeling skills and win prizes. Read more about Model Mania here. Would you like to sign up for SolidWorks and or 3D Experience challenges? So there's going to be a Model Mania challenge in there's going to be a Model Mania challenge in at 3D Experience World this year, and that will be for 3D Experience, and there will also be a Model Mania for SolidWorks. So, kind of lost my train of thought there just for a second. I apologize, but what I'm trying to say here is that every year at SolidWorks World, there's a challenge where you go into a booth, and the team at SolidWorks hands you a 2D print and says, "Hey, turn this into a 3D model." And then after you turn it into a 3D model, they hand you a second print and they say, all right, now what I want you to do is make this change and then run a quick simulation. Use Simulation Express and run a quick simulation on this model. And at the end of the conference, you find out who got the fastest time for that challenge. That's called Model Mania. So obviously, Model Monday Live, our challenges here are very much in the same vein. A little bit different. We don't have the physical booth, obviously. We don't have the simulation part of the challenge. We don't have the part 2, the revision of the challenge. But certainly a great opportunity to practice this real-world skill of trying to finish a model in a short period of time. You're under a deadline. The team in the shop is leaving at the end of the day. Or it's Friday, and if they leave today, then your parts are going to be held up for the entire weekend. They're not going to be back till next week, or they're going on vacation. You just need to get this part out the door. I've been in that spot. I've had guys on the prototyping team standing over my shoulder watching me draw up weldment fixtures so that they can build a prototype, so that they can get the glue to set overnight so the parts will be ready the next day. It is a real world thing to try to get parts done accurately and quickly. And so that's kind of the spirit of Model Mania, and that's been at SolidWorks World for, I think, 22 years. And so they're going to continue it this year, but it's going to be a little bit different this year because obviously there's not a booth, and it's going to take place on Tuesday at, I believe, 2:30 p.m., and that's the SolidWorks Model Mania Challenge. Now, you also have the opportunity to participate in what's called the 3D Experience Model Mania Challenge, where you're following kind of a different set of rules, a different set of criteria. And I don't actually know as much about that, but I do know it's important in your profile to make sure that you want to participate in the 3D Experience Challenge. The SolidWorks Challenge, the Model Mania SolidWorks Challenge, it's not as important. If you miss this in your profile, it's okay. Just show up at 2:30 on Tuesday, February 9th. But the 3D Experience one, it's really important. So make sure that you have properly identified that you want to participate in that 3D Experience Model Mania Challenge. I did see a chat come in from Mike Puckett here. Let me just move this over onto the screen. So we can see that Mike said, due to technology, we are going to use, we can't add any new people to the list. Okay, so that's good to know, Mike. So yesterday was the deadline. So if you did sign up by yesterday, you'll receive an email or a notification of some sort. If you didn't sign up, that window is closed. And thank you very much, Mike, for that. Appreciate that. Good to know, that people are going to get notified. I had a couple people ask me, like, what happens next? So good to know that they're going to get notified. So you get to the end of your registration, and you can see here that at the end of the registration, it's going to say, like, you're going to pay $0, and you're going to do this 3D Experience World Virtual Conference. If you want to, you can also get this VIP access. But, there may be some other ways to get a hold of that. So if you look around, if you poke around a little bit on different message boards and things like that, you might be able to find some people, not people, not like individuals, but on some message boards, it says, like, hey, click here, special, VIP access if you're part of our message board. And they'll set you up with that. And then you click submit order and boom, you're done. You're in. You did it. So that's registration for 3D Experience World. We haven't talked about my agenda yet. That's the idea of Model Mania, a little bit of a discussion there of Certification Day, which is on Monday the 8th. And we didn't yet talk about the CSWE event. So we'll talk about that as well. All right, so once you get done with that, you'll see that your agenda shows up here, and this is what you'll end up seeing in your agenda. So with that, I think we should, get into it and talk a little bit about what my agenda is going to look like for this conference. We're going to go through and we're going to look at some of the different sessions that are taking place, and we'll talk about kind of how you can go through and you can pick out which session works for you. And I'm not necessarily going to, tell you every single session that I'm in. I'm actually going to go through instead and kind of build the agenda, and we'll think through a little bit about how I go through and kind of decide which sessions I'm going to attend and which ones I won't, because this is a whole new thing for everybody. A lot of people haven't done it this way before, but it is kind of similar to what we would do in previous years, so I can at least help you and kind of bring that to the table. One thing I do want to say is that whether you are logged in to 3D Experience World to select your session catalog, or if you just go, like in this case I went in incognito mode here on the right, to an unlogged in user account, and you just click on 3D Experience World, which is what I've got here, 3D Experience World, the freedom to create, and then you go to conference and you go to session catalog. Either way, you can see all this information. You don't have to be logged in. So if you're thinking about, maybe I should attend, maybe not, I'm curious about what's going to be involved. Well, you can see here that you can actually go through and you can look at the entire catalog here, and from this entire catalog you can see that there's a heck of a lot of sessions. I think 180 different sessions that you can attend, and you can just learn a little bit about what is going to be taking place this year, and that may help you decide. I mean, it's free, right? It doesn't cost anything, so it should be easy, but it costs time, right? Like you don't want to spend time doing something that's not going to really benefit you. But I would say, if you find any one of these sessions and you think it would help you do your job, you think it would help you save time, it's definitely worth it to sign up and to attend that session. And I would say definitely the morning sessions, the general sessions, those are always a good way to hear from the DASO leadership and find out kind of what direction the company's going in. So we're going to talk about that momentarily, but before we do, let's take a look here at the challenge. We can see here that we're getting some great chat here, some great chatter. Devin, I noticed at the bottom here, he says he's struggling with the rib command. Never really does what I want it to do. Devin, yeah, I mean, the rib command is a pretty cool one. If you go back, a couple of episodes of Model Monday Live, there was one night where I really talked a lot about the rib command and how it's used. If anybody on the chat there can look up which episode that was, it was probably 2 or 3 episodes ago where we talked a lot about the rib command. I went through and showed a couple of different examples. I think that there's just a few little key things, little common mistakes people make with the rib command, like deciding which plane they should start their sketch on. That can definitely, make a difference in how successful you are with that command. So, and Zachary here says, I think dealing with complex parts has made my brain overthink simple things. Spline curvature and analysis tangency is messing with common designs now. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I think we've all been there where we spend a lot of time, especially if you spend a lot of time surfacing, you start like wanting to do everything with surfacing tools. Even the simplest designs you just end up wanting to do with surfacing tools. So yeah, I think we've all definitely been there. All right, so if we roll back here in the chat a little bit, we can see that it looked like Clark was the first one to come up with an answer. He came up with 703.9, and then he circled back and he said, actually, that is incorrect. Tom had a question here as well. How the heck do you set material in X design? Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to run into that, Tom. So the answer to that question is you actually will set up your materials in a materials definition library, which is accessed through a different app. That's the long story short, and there's a little bit more nuances to it than that, but that is it. Other than that, you kind of just have to deal with the materials that are there, and we can get into more detail on that in the future. Maybe we'll do some X design, some 3D experience on this channel at some point in the future, but for now, that is in fact the case. So that may be why you're running into that challenge. Clark then circled back, said 717.9, forgot to set the material. So 717.9 or 718 if you round it to the nearest gram. Looks like Sky Captain got in here as well and said 718. 3167 came in at 731. Josh came in at 718. So let's see here. Zach came in at 726. Nick came in at 718. So it looks like we're getting in here pretty close to 717, 718. Yep, here we go. Zach circling back down to 717. Jennifer coming in at 719. Nicely done, Jennifer. Revising your answer in the wrong direction here, Jennifer. It's at 721, actually going in the wrong direction. And Johnny Jayo here coming in with 718. What is up, Jayo? Great to see you in here with 718 as well. All right, awesome. So I think that we have pretty much a consensus that the answer is 718, and the correct answer is, in fact, 718 grams. So great job to everybody who got that. No tolerance on this one. The tolerance is like essentially plus or minus 0.5 grams. Tolerance is set by the precision in this case. So very nicely done. The correct answer was 718. And even if you got it off by a gram or two, I still think you did a great job, and you certainly were close enough to get this thing 3D printed, and I think you would be fine. So nicely done, nicely done. And shout out to Tom for giving it a shot with a brand new CAD modeling tool with X Design. Like I said, Tom, maybe we can have a night where we do some of these using X Design just to mix things up a little bit. All right, so let's get into another challenge here. We're just gonna jump right into the next challenge. We're at 9:30. We're making up for some lost time a little bit here. Let's see here. If you guys enjoy these challenges, be sure to hit the like button before you leave tonight. You don't have to hit it right away, but if you are enjoying this, don't forget to hit the like button before you leave. I do appreciate all the likes, and it definitely helps. As they say on the streets these days, it helps with the YouTube algorithm. All right, here we go here. Next challenge, once again, no points, just for exhibition. Once again, going to be using these same materials. And are we ready to go here? This one is called Metal Clip. So you guys, I gotta switch to full screen for this. I think for the first time, or definitely one of the first times in Model Monday Live history, we're gonna do a sheet metal challenge. So if you don't have sheet metal in your toolkit, meaning obviously it's in SolidWorks, but maybe you're not familiar with it, well, you can still give this one a try. If you don't have sheet metal in the program that you're using, that's all right too. What you can do is you can certainly just do you can do fillets. You can just do the material thickness, and you can do fillets, and you can still come up with the correct answer. But I think this year we're going to mix it up. We're going to branch out a little bit beyond just kind of the core SolidWorks tools. So I hope you guys like this change. Let me know. I can already see the chat coming in. Some people saying that they're going to enjoy this change a little bit. So let's get into it here. This one is called metal clip, 2021-01-02. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. So I will direct your attention to the upper right area of the print. And you can see in the upper right area of the print, it says the wall thickness is 2 millimeters. That's for all of the walls because it's sheet metal. So it starts out as a flat sheet and then gets bent. And the inside bend radius is also 2 millimeters. So all of the inside bend radii on this thing are 2 millimeters. The wall thickness is 2 millimeters. So the outside bend radii for all these will be 4 millimeters. You can see here that there's also a note in the top center of the screen. And that note is trying to call out your attention to the fact that the bend on the left and the right of the center tab, they both start at that same location as that edge. That center tab is 30 millimeters wide if you're looking down at it from the top. And that's also exactly where those two bends begin. So there's no edge relief there. There's no like additional flat region. The bend just starts right there. So I hope that all makes sense. And I'll give you guys a chance to look at this, to grab a screen capture. Very nicely done to everybody. Huge shout out to Jennifer, who's here for the first time, or at least competing for the first time, and already got on the board and got one right, or at least close enough to be 3D printed. So that's awesome. Welcome to the party. All right, took a final sip of my drink. Starting to feel like I'm getting back in the groove here. Tampa Station says sheet metal would be cool. Been trying to figure that out all day. That's awesome. And Nuno says he's happy with sheet metal, so that's great. Very glad to have you in here once again, Nuno. I know Nuno's coming at us from Portugal, I believe, and it is very late over there. So don't worry, Nuno. Like I said earlier, we're going to have some Euro time zone friendly episodes coming up this year. And Just is here as well. What's up, Just? It's been great seeing you on the comment boards. He's been going through and doing all of these Model Monday replay challenges, and now he's giving it a shot here live. So welcome. We're doing a sheet metal challenge here tonight, Just. So I hope you have a little bit of sheet metal in your background. I'm going to leave this print up just for another few moments, and then we're gonna keep on going here. All right. Hope that was enough time for you to grab a screen capture so that you can participate in this while we are continuing to have our discussion of the wonderful world of 3D Experience World 2021. Just some thoughts here, some ideas on how your friend Toby gets through the process of selecting an agenda. So what you're going to find here when you're doing an agenda selection of 3D Experience World 2021 is that, whether you log in or whether you finish your registration process, you're going to have the section here that says My Agenda. And you can click on that section and you can choose Update My Agenda. And so when I choose that Update My Agenda, you can see here that it brings me once again to the session catalog. Now, the session catalog consists of 187 sessions, and these are organized chronologically by the order of the actual event here. So you can see here that they're going to start out, Tuesday morning. The very first session, Tuesday morning, is the general session. But I just want to say here that if you are a certified SolidWorks expert, and if you are a certified SolidWorks expert, and if you Mike, if you're still out there, I'm going to shout out to Mike Puckett, who hopefully is in the chat. Maybe you can just remind me, did they have to sign up for anything special? If they're certified SolidWorks expert, did they have to hit a tick mark that says, I want to participate in the special CSWE event? And number two, can you confirm that takes place on Monday afternoon, the 8th? So if you could just confirm those two things, Mike, I sure would appreciate it. And I think everybody in the chat would too. And again, I apologize. I know I'm a little bit scatterbrained tonight, but we're getting it together here. So even though this agenda here starts out on Tuesday morning, you may find that, if you're participating in certification day, or if you're participating in the CSWE special event, your conference might actually start on Monday. Might not even start Tuesday. It might actually be starting on Monday. But for most of us, if you're not a certified SolidWorks expert, if you're not doing certification day, the conference is going to start Tuesday morning. And Tuesday morning, you can see here, it says Tuesday morning general session. Now, these are the sessions that they would normally have at the World Conference, where the leadership would get up on stage and they would talk about, what's happening next with SolidWorks and what's happening next with 3D Experience. And this is definitely something that you want to check out. It's a really good session for you to attend. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit the little heart, letting me know that, or letting everybody, letting me know, kind of reminding me that I'm interested in attending this session. And maybe I'll also say here that, I want to add this to my schedule. So I hit the little heart there, and you can see here now it's also added to my schedule. Just give me 1 second here, guys. I just want to make sure that I'm logged in on the correct account. I saw that the login came up there and gave me an email, but I'm not sure if it's the one that I intended to use. No, it's a different one. Okay, here we go. And the reason I wanted to do this is because my other account has access to more sessions, and I want to make sure that I'm kind of representing the same sessions that you're going to see if you're going through and you're registering here. So, all right, so I'm good there. So, I said that I like that session, and I want to make sure that I schedule that session as well. All right, so now I go down to this next session here. Now, this again is on Tuesday, February 9th, and this next session starts at 11 o'clock. And you can see here it says cleaning up concept design with 3D Experience and SolidWorks 3D Sculptor. All right, so that's a concept design session starting at 11:30 using 3D Sculptor. So that's our sub-D modeling app. And you can hit this little expansion here, and you can get a feel for what we're talking about. But when we're talking about X-Shape, or when we're talking about 3D Sculptor, what we're really talking about is the sub-D modeler, the ability to kind of push and pull information and just kind of like you start out with a blob and you just push and pull that blob around, and then that gives you that final 3D model. So great for anybody who's doing any kind of like industrial design, any kind of weird shapey design. If you do a lot of surface modeling, a lot of surface design, anything that says X-Shape is going to be interesting to you, or anything that says 3D Sculptor is going to be interesting to you. Now, maybe I'm interested in that. Maybe I'll just tag that one as a little heart, but I'm not going to add it to my schedule yet. I'm just going to say, all right, I'm interested in that. That might get me close. All right, next here we can see Tuesday. Oh, also at 11:30. So now we've got a little conflict, right? These are going to be taking place at the same time. So I want to make sure that I don't double book. So that's kind of the challenge that you run into when you've got all these different sessions, but a limited amount of time for each session. Basically, a new session starts every hour at the half hour mark. So you can see here Tuesday at 11:30, there's going to be a session. It's going to go to 12:15. There's going to be like a 15-minute break. And then at 12:30, the next session is going to start. So the next session here, converting CAD drawings to MBOM. That's not really something that I ever do at my job, so I'm going to skip that one. Discover the world's first energy-independent autonomous drone system. That sounds kind of cool, but I'm really interested in learning about sub-D modeling, so I don't think I'm gonna do that one either. Here you can see you have the opportunity to actually attend a fireside chat with the executives. So again, if you're interested in learning more about what's happening, what direction the company is going in, that would be a great session to attend. Let's see here. Next one is from Art to Part, completely in a web browser. No downloads necessary. Now, this is something that sounds pretty interesting to me again, from Art to Part. The idea of just going from like a hand sketch to like a swoopy, lofty shape. That actually sounds pretty interesting to me. And to do it all in the cloud, that kind of sounds interesting too. So maybe I'll tag that one as a heart as well. Okay, so now we go to this next one here, getting started with SolidWorks for CAD administrators, Michael Suiters. Now, I've seen this guy present before. He always does a great job presenting, so that might be another opportunity, especially if you're a CAD administrator. That's definitely one that you might want to add to your agenda. LinkedIn for students, I don't think I'm going to be doing that one. I mean, it's kind of interesting how to build your network, but I don't want that to be up against the other one. Now, one thing you want to remember is that because this is all online. It's all virtual. These recordings are going to be available, I think, the same day. Maybe not right after the session concludes, but I think it's going to be the same day. So you're going to have the opportunity to view these recordings when you're done. So like LinkedIn for Students, maybe that's something that I want to watch the recording of later. So maybe I'll tag that one as well with a little heart. Managing standard content. Let's see here. And creating a culture of reuse. It sounds kind of like a library, usage of library. Let's see here. Part standardization and reuse are key drivers for limiting costs associated with new product development. In this session, we'll show you how to adopt smooth sourcing and standardization practices in your company. That actually sounds pretty interesting to me. I don't know if I'm going to attend that one. I think my heart is set on that 3D sculptor one, but I don't know. Maybe I will. It's pretty interesting, right? Revealing your SolidWorks design performance with 3D simulation. I'm not going to be doing anything simulation this year, so I don't really need that one. Another one here on simulation. I don't really need that one either. SolidWorks templates. That might be pretty good for anybody who's getting started in SolidWorks. Looks like it's coming from Eric Bright of Trimex. So maybe I would look up a couple of videos that person has posted, see if I like their style, and then I could decide if I want to attend that session. Let's see here. Visualize and 3D render. Yes, definitely one that I'm interested in. Things machinists wish engineers knew. Yeah, that could be pretty good too. I could imagine a lot of engineers learning a lot from that about like how when to add your draft. Do you do the fillet first and then draft the fillet, or do you do the draft first and then add the fillet afterwards? That could be something that could definitely cost you a lot of extra money if you don't know which order to do that in. So that might be a good one too. So I like all of those, and I'm now down to the next session, the 12 o'clock session on Tuesday. And really this is 12:30 is when this next session begins. So that's kind of the gist of how you're going to have to go through each one. And as you're going through all them, after you figure out the ones that you like, you're going to have to decide which one you're going to actually add to your calendar. So like I said, I think that cleaning up concept design with 3D experience and 3D sculptor, I think that's the one that I want. So I'm going to add that to my schedule as well. And now, at any point, I can click on this My Agenda here, and when I go into My Agenda, I can see a calendar which shows me the sessions that I've signed up for, which is pretty darn cool. So you can right away see this calendar of all the sessions that you've signed up for, and then you can even export this calendar when you're done. So I'm going to go back to the session catalog, and we're going to talk more about this. But before we do, let's take a look at the chat here and see if we can find out some answers and see if we can find out, if anybody was able to come up with the correct answer for that challenge. So let's roll back here a little bit. Looks like the first one that came in here was from Timothy. What's up, Timothy? Welcome. And I think this is the first time I've seen Timothy here in the chat. And man, you just crushed that one. Very nicely done. So 114 grams is what Timothy comes up with. Let's see here. What did this challenge look like again? Okay, yeah, it's that sheet metal one. All right, awesome. And Cam says, Timothy, you're fast. Oh, and Cam also has confirmed here that it looks like the CSWE event is going to take place on Monday the 8th. So thank you very much for that, Cam. Appreciate that. And that's going to be from 2 to 4 p.m. East Coast. So thank you for that. And Clark says 114 and says, good game, Timothy. Nicely done. Tom says it won't let me select the edges. That's tough, man. So welcome, Timothy, first timer. Great to see you in here. Mike, once again confirming. It's so nice that we have an expert like Mike in the chat. Thank you, Mike, for always tuning in and helping support these amazing users. So Monday the 8th from 2 to 4. For those who indicated they were CSWE, a session will magically appear. Okay, cool. So when you're registering, there's a question that says, are you an existing CSWE? And if you said yes to that question, then it says, stand by while we verify. It actually verifies your email to make sure that you are a certified SolidWorks expert. And now Mike's saying, at the end, a session will magically appear in your agenda next week. So that's awesome. And that's going to be for the February 8th. All right. And then Zachary says 114, then changes to 116. Sky Captain comes in with 114. So it looks like a lot of people are coming in with 114 here. Let's see here. Chris Nudson's here. What's up, Chris? How you been, man? Is there a way to change my email address so no longer have access to that email to register. And then Mike, a little bit later, put in the, I think he put in the registration email. I'll show that as well in the chat in just a moment. Zachary says, I love sheet metal and weldments. That's awesome, Zach. I'm glad we got you something that you like. Timothy says we should do at least feature challenge. Yeah, I've talked about this before, Timothy, and it's not really my style, I guess you could say. I am a lot more of a, I actually prefer to make more features a lot of times rather than less features. I think it can give you a more robust model, an easier model to work with. So it's not really my style to just try to jam everything into the fewest possible features. I think it's more important to make something that is robust and that can easily be deciphered by your coworkers. And a lot of times that means making a couple of extra features. Don't include that cut in that sketch. Don't make a super complicated sketch. It's easier to decipher when it's 4 different sketches, 4 different features. Now that's just me, right? And it all depends on your style, but that's just me. We have talked about that a lot, and other people have recommended that as well. So it's interesting. I just think it's a little antithetical to best practices, and I'm kind of already skirting the line with a speed run of CAD models, so I don't want to take it too far. Let's see here. Okay, and then GG Josh, and yep, nice job, Josh. 114 grams. All right, and then here's that email. Looks like it got flagged here because YouTube knows what's best for you, right? So there's that email for you. And Rossum says, hey, Toby, cool stream. Oh, thanks a lot, Rossum. Nice to see you in here. Welcome. Toby twice as long as everybody else, but still, let's see here. Whoops. I just jumped to the end, but still got it. All right, that's awesome. And this machinist, wish engineers knew. Sign up for that one. All right, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot to say, Cam. Thank you. If anybody is in the chat is giving a presentation, please let the rest of the chat know, because we'll definitely get in there and support you and give you lots of shout outs during your presentation. So if anybody who's here tonight is giving a presentation, please let us know in the chat. If that one's yours, Cam, let me know. I didn't even notice who was giving it. I should have been looking, but I just was kind of skimming through them at the end there. Any chance you are attending How to Motivate Students? Not sure if I'm going to be in that one or not. I get pulled in a lot of different directions during the conference. I'm actually involved in a lot of the sessions, helping out people. So I'm not sure I don't even know what my agenda is going to look like yet. So we'll see what happens the day of. But I'll definitely keep you in mind when I see that one, Zach. I used to design almost entirely in sheet metal, but a little rusty now. Well, you still got it. It looks like you still got it, Josh, at that 114 grams. And Jennifer, 18.74. I think you might have had your material off there, Jennifer. The material's down in the corner of the title block, plain carbon steel. So I think maybe you just needed to adjust your material, and then you'll be able to get that to the correct weight. All right, cool. I think that's pretty much it. Johnny Gio got it here, 114, nicely done. Nick at 114, nicely done. Just says, bought my first 3D printer last week. Let's see here. Really exciting, printing some models I designed earlier. And by the way, 114 grams, so nicely done there, Just, as well. Jennifer, there you go. Now you're getting a lot closer at 118. And Devin got it here at 114. And Devin says, just did it manually. Whatever. I don't know why that got flagged, Devin. I guess that was really offensive by YouTube standards. Just did it manually. All right. Let's see here. Presenting. Oh, you're sub presenting. Okay, cool. That's awesome, man. Well, I'll try to tune into that one for sure. For sure. Yeah, and if I missed anybody else's, let me know. Let's see here. Sheet metal. Miss sheet metal. Ivan, you missed sheet metal. Don't worry. We'll have some more sheet metal this year. Don't worry about it. All right, Devin, 114.4, actually. All right, cool. All right, awesome. Well, congratulations to everybody. Let's see if we got the correct answer. So the correct answer is 114. Nicely done, everybody. Nicely done. Congratulations. That is correct. And that is going to move us into our final challenge of the night. Now, I was a little bit nervous about this one. I think this one's going to throw some people for a little bit of a loop, but I hope that everybody has a good time trying this one. This is definitely one that I think like Ivan and Tom Smith would really enjoy. This is definitely their kind of a model. So once again, we're going to do no points. This is going to be for practice only. But for those of you who tuned in late, those points would normally be used to get onto a leaderboard. I have a website called TooTallToby.com, and on that website there is a leaderboard So you can see here, there is a Model Monday live section of the website, and there's a leaderboard on here. And what we did in December was we used this leaderboard to qualify for a tournament of champions, if you will. And we had some of our amazing members of the chat compete here. These top 8 people in the chat were able to compete here in the tournament, and we were able to kind of play down to one single winner to see who was able to model the fastest. The full video from that is on my YouTube channel, so if you want to check out the video of that tournament, you can. And what we're going to try to do again this year, in the middle of the year, is do another tournament. But we're going to try to have it a little bit more Euro time zone friendly, so we can get a little bit more of an international crowd in there. Had a number of people from Europe and from Portugal and from India asking me if I can make it a little bit more time zone friendly for that side of the world. So we're going to try and do that this year. So with that all being said, no points tonight, but still good competition. Appreciate everybody in the chat participating. So here you can see that we are looking at the same material and the same unit options. And let's get into this one. Switch over to full screen here. This one is going to be called Bracket. And 3, 2, 1, go. So I'll call your attention, first of all, to the title block, IPS, and 1060 aluminum for the material. And then I will call your attention to that note just to the left of the title block. That is a very important note. You are not going to get this correct if you don't take care to notice that section of the model and the way that face. There's a face directly above the title block that's facing you. You can see kind of what the ramification of that coplanar call out results in. So as you go through, as you're modeling, I think you'll start to see what I mean. And just keep that in mind. If you don't have those faces coplanar, you're not going to get it correct. With that being said, please take a moment and grab a screen capture of this. Just drinking some water. I'm done with my kombucha. Back to regular old water. Got some great questions coming in here on the chat. Clark says, I think half of us were SolidWorks champions. I love the SolidWorks champions program. I'm trying to get my main man Sean on here again to talk to us about some more about the SolidWorks champions program. I miss him. He's such a wonderful guest and such a wonderful guy. So hopefully we'll get him on here again. This is a good question here, Sky Captain. Will there be a chance to get SolidWorks or 3DE swag during Worlds? We'll have to see what we can find out about that. That's for sure. I'll leave it at that for now, and I'll see if I can find out anything. I'll circle back to you on that one. That's a great question, though. All right, so I hope that gave everybody enough time to get a screen capture of that print, because we're going to switch back to the PowerPoint view here. Question from Rossum82. He says, where do you get these parts? Do you just come up with them yourself? Yeah, I mean, one of those parts, Rossum, was, I have it here on my desk somewhere, that cone part. I don't know, I saw it around the house. It came in some kind of a package. Here it is. I mean, a lot of times that's all it is. It's just, this. It's smaller than what I drew, but it's got the 6 ribs around the outside. I don't have autofocus on, so it's not gonna focus it. But it's got the 4 ribs on the bottom. It's got the 6 ribs on the outside. So just like a part that I saw around the house, and I was like, you know what, that would make for a good model. Sometimes I see them in old mechanical engineering books, and then I modify them. Most of the time, the models that are in my old mechanical engineering books, they're too detailed, or that they don't lend themselves. One of the biggest challenges that I have is that I have to take the model and fit it all onto one print. I don't think we've had a Model Monday challenge yet that's been 2 prints. I think that would just make your life a lot harder, because you'd have to capture and then save and then capture again. This way you can just kind of capture it, in one shot. But mainly, I just mainly see stuff around the house, and I just think oh, that would probably make for a good challenge. it's all about just trying to help everybody in the crew, in the community. And so whenever I see little challenges like this, I try to put them together and give you guys a little chance to get these challenges. A lot of people who tune in, they don't even get to use SolidWorks at their work, at their job. They're doing a lot of management, or they're running the machines or whatever. So maybe this gives them a chance to actually use SolidWorks. So that's it. Yeah, I'm inspired by the world. I remember I once saw an interview with Victor Wooten, and somebody was like, "How do you come up with your song ideas?" And he was like, "Oh, sometimes I just go outside and I listen to the birds, and the birds are like talking to each other." And I remember thinking that like the cameraman was probably like, "Is he talking about birds? Like, what's this guy talking about?" But that's kind of how it is for me. I just walk around, I look at nature, I look at a rock, and I'm like, "Oh, maybe I could make that into a part from Model Monday Live." All right, let's get back into our 3D Experience World agenda here. So you guys, I think you guys basically have seen the gist of how I go through and start to construct this agenda. Start to go through the process of constructing this agenda. It starts out with me kind of looking at all the sessions that are available for that day, and then I go through. Now, there's other ways that you can work with this. Like, one thing you can do is once you go through and you filter all those, you say like, yeah, I like this, yeah, I like this. There's a filter right here that says just filter my favorites. So that's certainly going to help you to kind of bring to the forefront the sessions that are important to you, and hopefully, and I don't know for sure, but hopefully this will feed right into your ability to then watch the recordings of those sessions. You'll be able to then go back and say, okay, I attended one of these, but then I just decided I wanted to go back and watch the recordings of some of the other. Hopefully having those favorited will help that as well. As you're trying to decide which sessions to view, to attend, another thing that you can do is you can filter by day. So you can see here that you can filter by day, and as you go through and you filter by day, you're going to find that only the content that is occurring on that day will show up on this list. So that's another kind of a good thing that you can do. And then finally, you want to remember that some of this stuff isn't showing up here, like the Model Monday, Model Mania. I feel like that did show up on my agenda at one point, and I was able just to add it to my agenda. Maybe it's just I just haven't gotten down that far yet, because it's at the end of the day. So let me go down here to the end of the day and see. Let's see here. So here's a Tuesday session general replay. Definitely, I'm definitely going to want to make sure that I add that to my schedule, because looks like it happens at the end of the night. Unlock large assembly performance. That's always, I think, a great topic is large assembly. So I'll add that to my favorites. Let me see if I can find that kind of 2:30 time slot. So there's 4:30, there's 3:30. Let me go back here to about 2:30. Here we go. 2:30. Here we go. Look, Model Mania SolidWorks Challenge. So definitely going to favorite that. Definitely going to add that to my schedule. And that way that just shows up right on that schedule. I know, okay, that time is blocked off. But it doesn't mean that I can't look at some of these other sessions and, and get involved in some of these other sessions. Another thing that you can do here is you can take a look at the filter up top, and from the filter up top, you can filter by certain keywords. So like Zach said that he was involved in that one for students. So I could maybe do a filter here by Zach and find out if I can figure out where that session is that he's doing, or I could do one by students. Let's see here. If we can find that one. A new way to engage students. Right, so let's definitely favorite this one. This is Tuesday at 12:30. Hopefully I don't have anything else scheduled that day. Boom, let me add that one to my schedule as well. So there's a lot of different ways that you can filter this content. You could search for me, right? You could search for Toby. And you can see here I'm doing one on collaborative design for SolidWorks. So that's Tuesday at 12:30. Is that one going right up against Zach? If it is, I'm not going to be able to attend mine. I'm going to have to attend Zach's. But this is one on doing basically doing data management in the cloud. So taking SolidWorks content and using 3D Experience to do the data management part of it, so that you can have multiple users working from different locations, and your vault, if you will, is in the cloud. So you're still working in regular desktop SolidWorks, but you're just like pushing and pulling all your files from the cloud. Still saving locally. It's only when you do the push that you're actually pushing to the cloud. So Or this one, Toby's Tips and Tricks. You guys don't need to attend this one because you get all your tips and tricks every Monday. It's like every Monday you're attending one of these, but that's another one that you can attend. Definitely a fun session. I probably should have named it Toby's SolidWorks Tips and Tricks 2021. I wonder if I can still rename it because I think that maybe just calling it Tips and Tricks, maybe people don't know what that actually is about. Although I do have it as this first line here. I always try to remind people like it's really important to catch them in the first couple of words. So maybe I'll go back and I'll change that one as well. So and then of course you can also filter here by the topic. Right, so you can filter by the course level, you can filter by the product tag here, you can also filter by the discipline here. So you could say, like, I'm interested in design and engineering, not really going to be doing any simulation this year. I'm interested in manufacturing and production, not really going to be doing much data management this year, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that way you can kind of filter this down and you can see, okay, now we've gone from 180 sessions down to 91. Let's say maybe now I'm only interested in what's happening on Tuesday, and this really starts to make it easy to start to put together your agenda. And then, like I said before, once you have your agenda put together, you can click on this My Agenda here, and you can see when each of these events is happening throughout the week. And of course, from here, you can choose to output this. So you can output this to like a Google Calendar, or you can output this to your Outlook calendar or whatever. And that way, it'll all be in one spot, easy to access. And if you have other stuff going on that day, you can kind of schedule around those other things as well. I think that's a really important and kind of like a little hidden gem here is just that ability to kind of filter through this. Let's see, if I do my favorites, does that just show me everything that I favorited? Oh, it does. That's kind of cool too. So that way I can see my agenda that I've picked as well as my favorites. I like that. So I hope that was helpful. I just want to remind everybody, when it comes to Model Mania, I would love it if we had somebody from the Model Monday live streams up there on stage winning Model Mania this year. I think it would be so cool. So everybody get out there and hopefully you guys can all win it. I hope that it's first, second, third, right down the line, all people from our chat. And if you need any practice on that, I don't know if you guys noticed, but on the TooTallToby YouTube, I mean, you guys probably all noticed it. But on the TooTallToby YouTube, I did start posting the episodes of Solved. So here there's a new playlist, Model Money Replay, Model Money Live, Tips and Tricks. There should be a new playlist. Oh, I didn't put it on the main page there. There's a new playlist here, though, for Solved. So the Solved ones is just me going through and showing how I think through these challenges and how I come up with the answers to these challenges. So if you haven't had a chance to check those out yet, and especially if you know people who are students, these are really good to go through and take a look at, because I actually kind of talk through how I'm solving these challenges and share some tips and tricks along the way too. So if you want to prep for Model Mania 2021, that's another great resource that you can leverage. But really, I don't think there's any better resource than what we're doing here tonight, competing, trying to figure out what is the mass of this part in x.xx pounds. So on that note, let me bring up the chat here. Let's go through. Let's take a look at what we came up with. Let's see here. So we got our 114s from the last one. And here we go. I'd like to go to my calendar, click on available time, and see all sessions during that slot. Go to my calendar, click on available time, and see all sessions during that slot. Hold on, we're getting a pro tip here from none other than Cam Smith. So let me go to, which one is it? This one? All right, go to my catalog. Oh, wait, go to my calendar. I was in the right spot before. Great, I'm all the way at the bottom. Here we go. Take two. Go to my calendar. Click on a time slot. So click like here. Oh, wow. Find sessions from 11 to 12. Oh, I like that. Cam, nicely done. Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. All right, cool. I'm going to definitely keep that little pro tip in mind as well. Thank you, Cam. Very nicely done. All right. Everybody give Cam a 1 in the chat. Nicely done, Cam. All right, and then we see here that Clark comes in at 1.351 pounds. Timothy right behind Clark, man, 1.351. And 3167 Wow, also getting right in there at 1.351 pounds. So look out. And 3167 says this was definitely a bit of a thinker. That's awesome. How'd you guys build the ears? Yeah, I'm sure that there was a lot of people that just got in there and did hack and slash on that one. And a lot of times that's what you have to do. I know that for me, even when I was auditing this model, I kind of went through and did it differently than how I originally built it. So come for the tips and tricks. We stay for Toby's cool personality. All right, thanks a lot, Nuno. Appreciate that. Let's see here, some different techniques on making those ears. That's awesome. I love you guys chatting it up and coming up with different techniques here. So that's awesome that you guys are sharing those. Let's see here. All right, got to go swap cars. All right, good luck, Cam. Good game. Thanks, or Clark. Good game. Thanks for tuning in. Got confused. Couldn't figure it out until I couldn't figure out how to use the 2. Yep, that's right. All right, a little bit of yep. All right, cool. Tom Smith coming in with 593.734 grams, which equated to 1.309 pounds. Josh coming in with 1.44 pounds. So pretty wide range of answers here. This is good to see. I like it when there's a wide range of answers here because that means that I gave you guys a little bit of a stumper on this one. So, all right. Cool. All right. I think that brings us down to the bottom of the chat. So let's find out what the correct answer was. So the correct answer was 1.35 pounds. So I believe that was Timothy, and I believe that's Timothy for 2 wins tonight, if my memory serves me correctly. So let's see here. Oh, no, it was Clark. Clark came in just before Timothy. So nicely done, Clark. So it's Clark for 2 wins tonight then. That's what that means, I think. So nicely done, Clark. GG, Clark, and GG, Timothy, and welcome to the party. I hope you'll tune in again in the future. And Nick, what is up, my man? Nicely done. 1.35. He's right there. Tom coming in with 1.362. You guys are all very close, but the correct answer is 1.35. And I think you're only going to get that if you did these ears correctly. If you had flat spots here down in the section, I think you'll end up with 1.37, which is what Zachary's ended up with there. So nicely done, everybody. Well done to the whole crew. Thank you guys so much for the chats. I think that's going to pretty much bring us to the end. It was a crazy night here in the world of TooTallToby. I definitely started out the night with a pretty crazy night. So I want to thank you guys so much for hanging with me throughout this bit of chaos that I had to start out my night. If you guys enjoyed the session tonight, feel free to hit the like button. But more importantly, give us a 1 in the chat. Giving us a 1 in the chat is kind of like saying, you know what, guys, this was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun hanging out with everybody in here. I care more about that than I do about the likes, to be honest. I care that you guys are having fun hanging out with each other. And I got to tell you, I have a great time hanging out with everybody. It has been a long break. I think our last session was before Christmas. So it's been a long break, and we're going to do 2 weeks here, and then the World Conference is going to happen. We're going to take another short break then after those 2 weeks. And then after that, we're going to figure out what we're going to do about the summer, figure out what we're going to do about the summer tournament. We're going to start running the points again. We're going to start running the leaderboard again. So we got a lot of great stuff ahead of us for this year. But between now and next week, if anybody has any questions about the World Conference or anything, feel free to, you can just log into this video and you can drop it into the comments down below, and I'll try and get you answers for it. And I guess I just want to say thank you all so much. It's so great to see everybody again. I really hope you guys had a good time. Thanks a lot, Devin. Appreciate the kind words there. Glad you enjoyed this. Thanks a lot, Jason, for tuning in. What's up, Chris? Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the ones. These ones are not so much for me, but they're really for everybody. It's so cool having everybody in here together and sharing tips and tricks. And Tom coming in with 1.345 pounds, which does round up to 1.35 pounds. So nicely done, Tom. I think that is a new record for you, getting that time in there. And thank you guys so much for the wonderful session. I had a great time too. And I look forward to seeing everybody next week. Have a great night, everybody. Take care. I'm just looking for my webcam cover. I think I probably dropped it on the floor earlier. I did. See you guys.